Hello, my name is Alexis Daniel, and this is my end of course reflection video for Social Work 303. So to begin, this course has really allowed me to gain a greater understanding of the many different paths that a career in the social work field can take. Whenever I first began this semester, I was quick to only think about micro social work or case management, but I see now that there is much work to be done in both the meso and macro fields, especially as it pertains to policy work. I feel much more well prepared to continue in my social work education now that I have received critiques on how to effectively communicate with clients in realistic scenarios. I'm starting to apply to the practicum program now and am glad to see that I will have a little background knowledge on how to communicate with clients, even if it is just on paper. The three topics that stood out to me the most during this class were the empathetic listening skills, the generalist intervention model, and how to apply it to different situations, and how to navigate terminating my time with a client in the future. I have noticed myself incorporating the empathetic listening skills that I learned during this class in my day-to-day communications with my peers, and can definitely tell that I am learning how to be a better active listener. Whenever I read over the generalist intervention model, it seemed kind of rigid, but I see now that there are many different ways to engage, assess, plan, etc. for different kinds of situations and really fit that model to your client's needs. It was also interesting for me to see that it is actually helpful for a social worker to express their feelings about the termination of a professional relationship. I didn't realize that sharing personal feelings in this situation might actually be productive and help the client feel better, but I can see now why this might be the case. I also found it extremely interesting that our book had a chart of how upset clients might get in varying scenarios, and that researchers had studied this niche part of the process so much that they could make an infographic about it. My social work interests have not necessarily changed over the course of this class. I have always been pretty well set on attending law school after graduation, and so I've always had a specific interest in policy work and macro practice. I have a more specific interest in the child welfare system and foster care reform because my family did do medically fragile foster care whenever I was growing up. So this class was helpful in that it provided me with more real-life examples of what policy work could look like for me in the future and made me really excited for life after graduation. This semester, I have found that the content from Social Work 301, 302, and 303 all connected together very well, and all the topics were, of course, very well related. Just recently in my 301 class, we were actually studying macro practice. At the same time, we were learning about macro practice in this class and completing our case study. And I feel that hearing the same or similar information from two instructors allowed me to provide a more well-rounded response to all of my assignments. Important policy changes that are kind of complex, such as the Social Security Act, were also discussed multiple times throughout the semester by different professors, so that was very helpful in trying to wrap my mind around huge laws that have impacted so many people. One thing that I learned about myself this semester is that I need to improve my skills when working with a group. I often found myself having difficulty navigating the line between not taking on too much of an assignment, delegating tasks out to different people based on specific strengths, and just feeling comfortable that my peers would do a great job because they do, and everyone was working really hard this semester. I feel like I have improved in this area throughout the semester as we had many group projects in Social Work 301, 302, and 303, and I am confident that I will continue to sharpen my teamwork skills throughout my time at the Kent School, and that this will definitely help me in the social work field one day. Another thing that I have learned about myself this semester is that I'm very dedicated to my commitments and I value putting my best foot forward. Although my semester was very busy trying to balance classes and work and extracurriculars, I tried my best to be thorough in all of my tasks and learning the skills I need to be an effective social worker in the future.